Hello, dear children of class 5, and welcome to yet another online class of general knowledge. Dear children, today we are going to start the 8th lesson from your GK book, Our Freedom Struggle. Our Freedom Struggle. You see, dear children, our country was not always free. There was a time when our country was ruled by a foreign power, that is the British. You might have heard this story, right? And when our country was being ruled by British, there many great people, many great personalities, they rose up to fight against the British rule. You see, dear children, when British came to India, they actually came as traders. They came in the name of East India Company. They simply wanted to trade. They wanted to buy and sell the goods. All right, they wanted to trade in goods. But when they came here, they saw that the kings were weak. They were not united. They were busy squabbling and fighting among each other. So British took advantage of this situation, and slowly, one by one, they captured the kingdoms with the help of their superior military power and also their deceit. Deceit meaning their evil plots. You see, they made one king fight against the other king. They instigated one king against the other king, and they made them fight, and they reaped the benefit. And slowly, with these benefits, by, you can say, roughly 1767, 1765, 1757 to 1765, a British virtually controlled all of the country. Then, for the next 100 years, British did everything possible to crush the Indian people, to bring Indian people on their knees, to rule on them with iron hand. They introduced many systems which made the people's lives miserable, especially the poor farmers, poor traders. They suffered a lot under the British rule. Yes, British did a few good things also, like introduction of railways, introduction of telegraph, introduction of English language as a medium of instruction. Okay, but their overall aim was not to develop our country, but to simply take away its natural resources, take away the cotton, the jute, tobacco, indigo, and many other things, historical things, to simply take it away and sell it in the foreign market. Alright, dear children, they were selling it away, and our country was suffering. Our country was getting poorer and poorer. People were dying without food. Then came the famous date 1857. For the first time, Indians rose in revolt against the British. It started as a simple sepoy revolt. Okay, it started from within the armies of the British. The Indian soldiers within the British army, they revolted. But many kings, queens, zamindars, that is landlords and all, they jumped into it. Even common people contributed, and a simple sepoy revolt turned into our first war for independence. Definitely we lost it, but for the first time Indians got the confidence. What kind of confidence? Indians understood that British can be fought with and can be defeated. They are not at all invincible. They are not at all invincible. You can say, for the first time, Indians saw a crack in the armor of the British Empire. And after 1857, almost everybody started, opposing the British in their own ways. In fact, today's West Bengal, okay, it became the hub for revolutionary activities. Some young ones, they took up arms against the British, the revolutionaries like Sardar Bhagat Singh, Chandrasekhar Azad, what you call Binay Badal Dinesh, Surya Sen, many. If I start naming, it will be forever. So many of them, they directly took up arms against the British, and they started fighting. They started fighting face to face, because they believed that the only way British is ever going to leave India is that if we compel them to do so. And the only way they saw for this is the use of gun, right? But there were some people who believe that British can be compelled peacefully also. They did not believe in violence. They did not believe in violence. They simply came up with a very, very simple concept of satyagraha. It was actually started, we cannot say they, because it was actually started by Mahatma Gandhi, but soon it was adopted by everybody. It was a very simple concept that we will go and tell the British to leave the India, and no matter what they do to us, neither we will fight back nor we will move away from our demands. Means the logic was very simple. We will tell them to leave our country. They may beat us to death, but till our last breath, we will keep telling them to leave our country. And most importantly, we will be peaceful. We will not fight back. There was a third category of people also, dear children, like Rajbihari Bose and Subhash Chandra Bose, who went out of the country, and with the help of countries like Germany and Japan, they created their own army, and with that army they attacked the British in India with the hopes that they will be able to drive them out of the country. But sadly they failed because of their own reasons, but yet their contributions can never be underestimated. They were able to push back British. They were able to put the fear of God in the British. The British understood that the sooner we leave India, it's better, because people are ready here to die peacefully also and to die fighting also. Now, out of these, dear children, some of the leaders, especially the peaceful ones, their contribution is eminently mentioned in history, and it has been stated that our country's entire freedom struggle was won through peaceful means only. That's why on 15th August 1947, British quietly decided to leave India, and we got our freedom on 15th August 1957. Now, in this, few of the leaders are worth mentioning. Few of the leaders are worth mentioning, and they are as follows. The first one, dear, is Mahatma Gandhi. The first one, dear children, is Mahatma Gandhi. Let's see what it said about Mahatma Gandhi. He played a pivotal role in the freedom struggle of India through his non-cooperation movement, civil disobedience movement, and Quit India movement. Gandhiji brought three movements in our country. First was non-cooperation movement, then you had civil disobedience movement, and the final and the biggest one was Quit India movement. He also introduced the system of boycott and khadi, Swadeshi and boycott, with which he instigated people to attack the very financial roots of the British. It was system was very clear. We will not cooperate with the British. We will not follow the rules of the British. We will force them to quit our country, and most importantly, we will not use any good produced by British factories. Instead, we will wear and use the goods which are produced by our own local industries. That way, British would be financially affected. His non-violent and peaceful methods were appreciated all over the world. In fact, children, great leaders outside like Martin Luther King Jr. in America or Nelson Mandela in Africa, they adopted his system of fighting. And today also his peaceful methods are appreciated all over the world. There is not a single country where you will see that his methods are not being appreciated, methods are not being hailed as one of the greatest ever. This is one reason why after the independence, Mahatma Gandhi was termed as the father of the nation. Then the second one you had is popularly known as the Iron Man of India. No, not Tony Stark. He is Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. You see, when British were finally compelled to leave our country, British wanted to leave our country, but they also wanted to leave it weakened. They wanted to leave it divided, so that later on they can come and capture it again, play the same divide and rule, instigate one ruler against the other, and capture it policy. So what they did when they were giving freedom, they first of all divided the country into India and Pakistan. Now that time India had more than 500 princely states. Princely states meaning these particular states were ruled by kings and queens. Okay, kings and queens. Now British before leaving, they left an option for these kings and queens to either join India or join Pakistan or remain free. Now most of these kings and queens, they did not want to lose their royal status. Okay, so they decided to remain free. But there were some other kings also, like Nizam of Hyderabad, who were talking about joining Pakistan. So imagine if this would have been true, there would have been a Pakistan right in the middle of our country. But that time, a great leader arose, whose name was Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. He forced all these princely states to join the Indian Union. Every state was merged into Indian Union, and India's map as present came into existence. He was one of the greatest leaders who made sure that British plan of shattering India did not come to fruition. And he created a singular united India. He made the integrity of India stronger. That's why he is known as the Iron Man of India. You see, he was popularly called the Iron Man of India. He actively participated in non-violent civil disobedience movement against British policy. He also worked against social evils like untouchability and caste discrimination. He was also a great social worker. And towards empowerment of women. He is remembered for his achievement of bringing the states ruled by princely states, under the Indian Republic after independence, thereby not recognizing the right of any state to remain independent within India. He made sure that no state, whether it's ruled by princes or not, it should not join Pakistan or remain free. Means he did not want any gap in the map of India. Hence, he ensured that all the states within the Indian Union are merged with India only, and that way he created a united, integrated country. If Mahatma Gandhi is known for getting us freedom, then Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel is the one who ensured that our country's freedom is not threatened. Further, our country remains united as one. Then you have a third one, Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. So let's read about him. He was a renowned journalist and one of the freedom fighters who supported non-violent way of freedom struggle. He was the leader of Khilafat movement and promoted Swadeshi products and Swaraj, self-rule for India. You see, actually Maulana Abul Kalam Azad was the leader of the Khilafat movement. Khilafat movement was separately launched because the British had disrespected the Ottoman emperor, who was also the religious leader of the Muslims. And he merged Khilafat movement with Indian non-cooperation movement, and he also formulated the concept of self-rule and Swadeshi. Okay, he brought forth the concept of self-rule and Swadeshi for the people of the country. He worked for Hindu-Muslim unity and promoted secularism. Our country, dear children, is a country of great many cultures. So only one single culture here, whether it's Hinduism or Islam or Christianity or anything else, cannot be given importance. All need to be treated equally. The very thing that I am talking about right now is known as secularism. And this secularism that time was promoted by many leaders. The prominent among them, the great among them who contributed to the promotion of secularism was Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. So dear children, these are only three of the great leaders. But remember, history is filled with great leaders, young boys and girls who tried their level best in their own ways to get rid of the British rule and to ensure that our country got freedom and remained free. Today also you see our armed forces are engaged both on the Chinese border as well as the Pakistan border, protecting our country from their maligned plans, from their evil plots. So we need to respect our freedom. We need to respect the freedom fighters who got us this freedom, and we need to ensure that our country remains free and strong forever. Thank you very much. Stay safe.